You're tuned into the Dockmaster Mike radio show, and joining me is Scott Kusmeric, one of the producers of Sunset Fest Cabo. So, Scott, tell us how the concept of Sunset Fest Cabo came to be.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and that's kind of where I went to high school. And, when this yacht rock thing kind of happened, I was living in L.A. when the term was kind of coined, and I ended up moving back to Michigan. I worked on a project with a friend of mine, John Treefry from Los Angeles, and he had an amazing family cabin out in a little town called Hessel, Cedarville area. It was on an island. It was called Marquette Island. There's a wooden boat show that happens every year, and I said, hey, let's do a yacht rock party. And he said, what's a yacht rock party? And I said, you'll see. So I kind of put the whole thing together, and everybody dressed up and came out, and we had fun and food. And then every year we would do this yacht rock party. We would just set up some speakers, and then pretty soon, there was a couple hundred people showing up to this party. And, I had always said I would dream of actually getting all these artists that make up this genre, because the music is so great from that era, getting them all together on one stage. As it may be, time passes, and I pitched this idea to some friends of mine, in particular David Payne in San Diego, and next thing I know, he calls me back and says, hey, I've got the perfect spot to do this with the full lineup, and that's down in Cabo. And I said, well, I've never been. So I came down here and just fell in love with Cabo. It's an amazing place here. And that's kind of how it started. We just started throwing these parties in Michigan for fun, and they turned into kind of a big party. We just had a blast.
What's the weather like in Cabo?
The weather here is pretty much perfect, beautiful every day. We get a little bit of humidity here. It's between, 80 to 85, a little bit of 90s. It's summertime now. I've been here for the last 4 months. So the weather's really beautiful here. We get a little bit of a tropical storm come by or a hurricane south of us, and it gets a little humid, but that's it. Not as hot as Phoenix, Arizona, even though it looks like Phoenix, Arizona here. A lot of cactus and cacti and palm trees, but we're surrounded by the ocean. And it's beautiful here.
When you think of Cabo and you think of Sunset Fest Cabo and you think of the artists that are performing there, what kind of visions are you envisioning when you see this festival in October when the date is coming up?
Well, we've got a great team of people working on this. We have a very unique piece of property. It's right on the beach. And when you're looking at the stage, you're going to see El Arco, the famous arch in the whole bay. It's a beautiful backdrop here. I mean, what better to be in a place like Cabo that's just so beautiful, right on the golden sand and beach, and yachts going by and beautiful weather in October. It's, I think, one of the most amazing places to have a show like this.
I saw that the lineup was released today, and let's talk about the lineup. So on Friday, we have Pablo Cruz, we have Ambrosia featuring Peter Beckett, Elliot Lurie, John Ford Coley, Walter Egan, and Rick Springfield. And then on Saturday, it looks like it's Al Stewart, Christopher Cross, and Alan Parsons. And then on Sunday, it's Kenny Loggins and Dire Straits' Legacy. These artists, who are the ones that you're most excited to see?
Some people are purists and say that Rick Springfield isn't yacht rock, but, we had an opportunity to get him, and he's got so many great hits. We wanted to mix it up just a little bit. It doesn't have to be 100% yacht rock. We wanted to have a few things on the fringe, but still fit the music, and Rick is a great guy. So I'm really excited to see, Pablo Cruz. Believe it or not, my father, we had a jukebox business, and Pablo Cruz is one of the records and tapes that my dad always played, and they're one of my favorite bands. Obviously, Christopher Cross and, of course, Kenny Loggins. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm excited to see every single act that's on the bill. It was a dream wish list of ours, and I can't believe that, we've got some great people on our team that helped put this lineup together, and I'm super excited for everybody to come down and see these guys on one stage.
So aside from the music and the artists on the entire weekend, what are some of the other activities that are being included or being offered for people that are attending Sunset Fest Cabo?
The area where we're doing the concert, we're going to have some beautiful VIP areas set up. It depends on which package you pick, or you can kind of go a la carte where you can add packages. But at some of the host hotels, we're going to have VIP parties, after parties where some of the bands are going to perform that are on the main stage. We're going to have some special announcements of some other artists and entertainers coming down. There is at the Corazon, there's a beautiful rooftop deck. It's called Corazon 360, and it's just a beautiful area overlooking the whole city and the bay. So we're having some parties up there. We're actually having Garrett Price, the director of Yacht Rock, a documentary that was on HBO. He's going to be coming down, and we're going to be doing some private screenings with him and maybe some of the artists. We're just putting all that together. That was announced yesterday. So we're super excited to have him on board with us. But yeah, there's going to be a ton of stuff. If you go to the website, go to sunsetfestcabo.com, and all of the information is now up on the website, completely fully up. You can see all the hotels, you can see all the VIP packages, and you can really kind of dig into the website and see exactly what you're going to be doing down here. But yeah, we're excited to have this event, and the support has been, phenomenal, and we're just really excited. I can't wait for October.
So going forward with this event, is there any more surprises that people should be looking out for when it comes to this festival?
Yes, we are. I can't talk about it now, but we are planning on adding a couple more headliners, possibly to the show. We're just looking at some of those things. We're going to be adding some more artists to fill in some of the time slots. So there's going to be surprises coming as we get closer to the event, and some different types of parties. We're working with a couple yacht companies down here to offer some private parties on a yacht with some of the artists, and just some fun parties. I mean, this is going to be one big fun party. So it's going to be something you're not going to want to miss. This is going to be one of those opportunities that you probably won't see very often, especially down here in Cabo. So
yeah, this is gearing up to be a great event, and everyone that's on board and everyone that's attending so far is getting very excited about it. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to be down there and hanging out with not only you, but all the people that are associated with Yacht Rock, the artists. You're making a dream come true for a lot of people that are attending this, and I really commend everything that everyone is doing on your team, and it's just going to be an amazing event.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support and everybody else kind of in this community. We all kind of grew up on this music, and they just don't make music like this anymore. I used to listen to all these artists on vinyl records and cassette tapes and even 8-tracks and reel-to-reel. So I kind of miss all that. With all the AI and the crazy technology we have, I'm just craving this kind of music and this kind of vibe. We're actually gonna try and bring some DJs in that are gonna spin real vinyl and kind of keep it retro as much as we can. So that's my goal with this whole thing, is just to pay homage to these artists in this kind of new genre that's given a chance for everyone to rediscover some of the best music that was ever recorded. As far as I'm concerned, I think it's some of the best music that was ever recorded. Some of the best musicians out there still touring. So very fortunate and lucky, and super excited to see him in October.
Absolutely. You led me into where I wanted to go with questions. I just have a couple more questions with you. What was your very first 45 or vinyl record that was either given to you that you can remember or that you purchased?
I can remember the very first record I bought was a Rolling Stones record, and I was probably 5 or 6 years old. I think it was given to me, or my mother bought it for me, or I can't remember. But I grew up in the record business. My grandfather was the president of Seabird Jukeboxes, so I was surrounded by 45s and records and musicians, at a very young age. So I was fortunate enough to be around a lot of great music back in those days. So I think it was a Rolling Stones record. But man, when I got a little bit older, I loved, Kenny Loggins, and like I said, Pablo Cruz is one of my favorite records. My dad used to play for me when I was a kid, when we would go out in the summertime and hang out. Pablo Cruz, like I said, one of my favorite artists. I'm hoping to see, definitely going to see here in October. So yeah, I think it was a Rolling Stone album, and once I got that record, I never looked back.
That is awesome. And final question, what is your quintessential yacht rock song? It doesn't have to be yacht or not, but give me your quintessential yacht rock song.
I mean, you have to go with "Sailing" by Christopher Cross. I mean, that is one of the most incredible songs. When I used to go, we used to do a lot of boating up in Michigan on Lake Superior and Lake Huron, and that's one of my go-to songs. As soon as I get on the boat, that's the song I want to put on. So I think I could listen to that song all day, every day.
Absolutely. Well, Scott, it's been a great pleasure talking with you this morning. And everyone, please go to check out Sunset Fest Cabo. There are tickets still available. Tickets are selling fast, so you want to make sure that you pick up yours because tickets are limited and everyone's really excited about this festival. Look it up. It's www.sunsetfestcabo.com. There you can see the lineups. You can see all the different packages and excursions that are being offered through Sunset Fest Cabo's website. And also there are some updates coming up, as you just heard, that we can't talk about and that haven't been disclosed yet. So you do want to attend this festival if you love this music. And once again, Scott, thank you for joining me here on the Dockmaster Mike radio show. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much. It was a pleasure for having me, and can't wait to see you soon. And let's come down and party in Cabo.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon.